Now we were talking about the secure exception handling, as there are a lot of security issues related to exception handling. A vulnerable exception handling could lead to the leakage of sensitive information. Also, if an exception is thrown from a constructor, this could leave the object partially initialized, the reference of which may be passed to another entity, and such inconsistent object status may be referred later. This has been demonstrated by the finalized attack when we discuss secure extension. Now, we will focus on the sensitive information leakage due to a vulnerable exception handling, which is a very common mistake that can be made by a lot of programmers. We use a very simple example to demonstrate such vulnerability. The program constructs file input stream. Object, which may throw a file not found exception. If the program receives file name as a parameter and no such file exists in the designated folder, then an exception was thrown out. The question now is, what could be the problem? So the problem here is that a user can actually try to provide arbitrary file names, and whenever the program cannot find that file, it will just throw an exception. Therefore, a user can just guess the file name in a brute force way to figure out whether a file exists and located in what directory, and may eventually figure out the complete file structure on the disk or file system. This is especially important if the file is really sensitive. What about the next example? This example will first build a file input stream. Object with a given file name. If such file name does not exist, it will catch the file not found exception and throws a new security IO exception. Before this exception is thrown, the program can first log the exception. Even no log is provided, the user can still obtain some useful information about the file. At least a user will know that such file does not exist in this folder. So how can we control this vulnerability? One way we can do is to enforce some control policy. For example, path access control. So user can only access from some certain folder, such as the home path in this example. If the user tries other paths, the system will prevent such user access, and this is one good way to protect the sensitive information leakage. And what could be the other good ways to protect such vulnerability? An even more restrictive access control policy could be enforced to allow user only access certain files. Whenever the user tries to access any other file, a general error message will be generated. Therefore, a user cannot figure out whether the file exists or not. Okay, that's pretty much about the secure exception handling.